everyone, welcome to Start Your Week Great, Start Your Week with a Coach. I'm your host, Sean Butner, certified high performance coach, and this week we're talking about how you have more control over your destiny than you realize. And I know this is a theme that I have in a lot of my content, but I know that so many people feel stuck in their careers, their life situations, the town that they live in, and so on because they don't believe they can change the lot in their life. But excitingly, it seems to be changing with more and more folks starting businesses, changing careers, having that time of reflection. If we're looking at the silver lining of this past year with COVID, and people are opting in for more stable hours, for better pay, for better jobs, for better treatment at work, and better quality of life post-pandemic. So, what happens though if you don't feel like you control the direction of your career and personal life? Well, people feel stuck in jobs that they don't love, or they feel helpless to improve the situation around them, or employees continue to feel unappreciated by employers and customers alike. And in many ways, it can continue the feelings of depression, dissatisfaction, or just frustration with the status quo. So it's really important that as we move post-COVID, get back into the economy doing its thing, and things start heating up, that we're on the lookout for opportunities that might help us advance our lives. We're looking for opportunities that might help us thrive and can really help us live into a life that we design. So, the people that then can improve their own lives are the ones that act and transform their life into the one that they have in their head, their ideal life. It's a long way to say that. So, they decide, they're going to change, they're going to work a plan, they're going to get after it, and it's all things that we celebrate and cheer you on here at Start Your Week with a Coach. So if that's you, keep going. We're cheering you on. We want you to succeed. Let us know how we can help. If you just need a little encouragement, let us know. If there's something you're struggling with, also let us know by emailing support@seanbutner.com or replying wherever you're watching this video. So, and if you're not quite there yet, too, I'm cheering you on. It's now's the time to dream big, to reflect on what you want to create in your life, and to start making the plan to make it all happen. Because, it's when we have vision, we are more likely to achieve it. And so it all starts with designing your ideal life or refining it if you already kind of have an idea where you're going. So, this is a tricky topic because everyone has a unique idea, a unique set of experiences, a unique set of desires. And, sometimes too, you just need to get into it. You need to start working. You need to get some life experience to figure out what works for yourself. And that's exactly what happened to me in my 20-year career so far. I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do or study in college, but I thought business school would have a lot of transferable skills into any industry that I might end up in as I figured out what I wanted to do with my life. And then after, going to business school for undergrad, my graduate work was in information systems, which is a more technology-focused business degree, essentially, on how to use technology in business and think through strategy and all that stuff. So I really loved that. I had a hobby of computers growing up. I always thought I might end up in Silicon Valley somewhere. And so that seemed like a pull into something more that I wanted to do. So, went to grad school. After that, got my first job as a programmer at Walmart. And although I loved the programming part, the arbitrary deadlines that were set really added stress. Having been on call irregularly really messed up my sleep schedule. So I'm not sleeping right, super stressed, not eating right. It was a huge shock after kind of the more freeform way of life of college, where you have a deadline in 3 months. It's your job to figure out all the steps in between and engage with people that you need. Not this, you need everything done tomorrow, right? So I knew that I didn't like that part of the career, but I did know that I loved working with people. I loved solving problems. I loved solving team problems and communication problems. One of my proudest moments of my career at Walmart was I was on an international assignment in Japan, And I, figured out the team dynamic of the team there, the team at home, just wasn't jiving, and was able to propose some solutions to help streamline communication, to help people not talk over each other in a pretty complex project. So, and I was really, really, really happy with that. So I loved doing stuff like that. And this is the pattern that I've noticed in my career from, Walmart to running my first business to working at Apple and then again starting my second business, is that, I'd get into action, I'd figure out something that I really liked from that experience, and, that would form the basis of the reflection of how I wanted to design my lifestyle, or how I wanted to design my perfect day, or what I wanted to contribute in my life. So, and when I did the work and decided, I'm going to actively try to do all the things that I love and minimize all the things that I hated, that's when, I got into coaching. That's how I got into this career. That's why I love what I absolutely do every day. When I can talk with a client one-on-one, it lights me on fire. And I love helping people advance their life quicker. So that's the power and transformation. I went from being stressed out, unsure what I wanted to do in the world, to being like, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to figure out. Do or die. I will coach forever, whether I have a business or not, I believe. So this is what I want to do, and I have that excitement, and I want that excitement for you in whatever you're doing. So if you're struggling with, how do I think through, what do I want out of my career? What can I do? Then I got 5 ideas for you, right? 5 questions to help you reflect and think through it. So either, and I want to preface this, that you should have some type of experience that you're either actively going through or have gone through to kind of help reflect. So if you're thinking, if you're just starting out in your career, this might be a little bit more difficult. So you can think about it in terms of, what experiences do I want to try that I think might be right? And I want to encourage you to not get stuck in, should I do this or not, but have a plan of action to execute, because that's really, it's like a paleontologist, dusting off dinosaur bones. You're not going to know if you have a dinosaur toe or a cool skull or whatever, unless you start brushing to see how that reveals a bigger picture for you. Hope that analogy went right off the top of my head, but there we go. So, okay, what are 5 questions to help you think through what you want to do with, designing your ideal life in the future? The first thing, and I think people overlook this so much, is, what is your ideal lifestyle? And what do I mean by lifestyle? I want to, you want to think how many hours are you working a day? How much time are you spending with family and friends? How much time are you spent, in organizations or working in the community? Are you doing the whole travel south through the winter thing? Or do you have a really nice house? And where is that? And what's going on there? And can you imagine that in really deep detail of, where are all the fruit trees on your property, or how many rooms do you have? That kind of stuff. And, what kind of vacations are you taking? It's all really important things to think through as you design your life. And starting with lifestyle, not starting with career, is such an important thing, because especially here in the US, we define ourselves so much through what we do in our work that we neglect other parts of our lives. So I love this question. It's really, really helpful to kind of ground you there. The second question is, to think of, what would your perfect day look like from the time you got out of bed, your feet hit the ground, to the time your feet were lifted up as you slid into bed and went to sleep, right? And you want to think through this day in as much detail as possible. What do you want to do with your career? Your contributions and your good works. What do you want to do family-wise and socially and health-wise and just for your general well-being? You want to think through if my life was awesome and all areas of my life were performing, were dialed in, were rocking, and I was super successful, what would that look like? And this is a really powerful exercise to get really clear on, the day-to-day, right? And to get that vision of that future for your head. The third thing is to think about what income or resources do you want or need to live that ideal life. So if it's just like, I want to live on the beach and go surfing every day, and really I could just camp on the beach and do that for the whole rest of my life, it's like I need to make a total of $1,000, and I can make that work for 10 years or whatever ridiculous example, of living really like simply. Or it could be like, I need to make a 6-figure business so that I can provide for my family and have all the rooms for all the kids that I want, or whatever it is for you. What is the finances or resources you need to have in order to live that awesome life? And so this will get you, and what's really awesome too, like in Tony Robbins' Money Game book, he talks about how if you have this idea of how you want to live and the things that you want, like if you wanted a private jet, it's way cheaper to rent a private jet when you need it than to own one. So there are ways you can start to think about all of that stuff in a way that can help you get it sooner, or in a way that's more cost effective or more efficient. And that's why I love this question. The fourth question to think about is, what quality of life things would need to be present for your ideal future? And I love this question because, it could just be like, I have a meditation garden, or I have one of those float pods with, the salt water where you can float out and relax, or maybe I have a sauna, or maybe it's, I live in a community with a bunch of musicians that I can, once a week play guitar with in a community setting. It could be 100 different things that would just amplify and make your life awesome. So, I love this question because sometimes it's more than just like, I have a nice house. It's, I'm able to take off work when the kids are sick, or, all these little things that maybe we don't think of, and being able to put that on a piece of paper as you journal this out can be so liberating, and it can help build excitement if you're like, oh, if I had more of this in my life and I could do these 3 things right now, things would just be that much more awesome for me. That is in itself is worth doing this exercise. So that's why I love that question. The fifth thing to ask yourself is, what contributions and service would need to be in my life in order to feel completely fulfilled? And I love this one because so much of our happiness isn't the stuff that we have. It's usually in relationships, and it's usually in what we're giving, our generosity, our spirit of generosity. So are you doing like a community cookout, or do you have a group of friends that you're regularly meeting, or are you like helping orphaned children in the Ukraine get adopted here in the US? Or there's so many different, again, ways to contribute and serve that helps us feel fulfilled, because at the end of the day, if you're designing your life and you're not designing it for joy, you're not designing it for fulfillment, you're not designing it for, prosperity for your family, then what are you doing? It seems really silly to say that out loud when you're thinking about it, but I think a lot of times I've noticed for myself and my clients, so it's not that, I think it's just human nature. You can really fixate on a few certain things and not the big picture. So if we're thinking about that holistic, large picture, what would that look like in your life? So I absolutely love these questions because it gets us thinking about our careers more, or our health, or how to our contributions and family and communities and organizations fit into our feeling of being fulfilled and happy and just on fire. So, and here's the thing too, guys. And listen to this. As you get this picture of your ideal future locked in, the magic of making it happen becomes that much easier. You can make more confident decisions on, I'll take this job across the country, or I won't take this job across the country, because it's not going to help me realize that idea, that dream that I have for myself, my family, and my community. So it gets super easy to make those decisions and to stay on track and to get traction and progress on it, and that's what we want. So do yourself a favor and do the reflection and design your ideal life and future. And if you're feeling super crazy, plan one move or step that'll get you closer to that in the next month. And you can do it in the next day if you're really ambitious, or the next week. But let's say in the next month, do something that's going to move you towards that ideal future that you've just journaled through. Okay? So, and just remember that design your life to live into your full potential and joy, because that's what it's all about, guys. And this is what I do all the time in my one-on-one coaching. So if you're looking for a little bit more personal, tailored, and guided discussion on how to design your ideal life, I'd love to help you out. And you can go to SeanButler.com/coaching to learn more about that. So that said, guys, go forth, live with more joy, more personal growth, and more impact in your communities. And I'll see you next week. Take care.